welcome back to the biblicalnutritionist.com. Did you know your blood could reveal cancer long before you ever feel sick? Well, today, Dr. Jay Hitson is going to show you how to spot those early signs. And then I'm going to reveal powerful anti-cancer foods from the Bible that science now confirms strengthens your body's natural defenses. So many people are just doing their best, eating healthy, taking supplements, yet their lab work is quietly telling another story. Elevated inflammation markers, high ferritin, homocysteine levels can be the first whispers that something is off long before symptoms appear. You'll want to watch until the end because you'll piece it all together, how your food choices, your blood work, and your faith all connect. My goal isn't to scare you, it's to equip you with hope and truth. God designed your body with incredible healing potential when you fuel it His way. So to help you understand what's really going on inside the body, I invited my good friend Dr. Jay Hitson to share how certain blood markers can quietly warn us. Let's listen closely because what she's about to explain could change how you read your next lab report and how you take care of your body from this day forward. Today, we're talking about cancer. We're talking about foods to avoid, foods to include in your daily list, and just making it simple. But what many people also need to understand is we have to know our numbers. And I teach this over and over and over again in every class that I'm given the opportunity is let's find out where you are today. You may say, but I don't have cancer. Let's find out where you are today. Let's get your baseline. Most people don't know what labs to be looking for. And that's why I wanted you to come on this video and share with people, what am I looking for and what are the numbers? Because they can go back and see if they've had some of these done. And I know some of them that you're going to mention today, they probably already have some values that they can look at. And then let's look and see on your next checkup or your next lab value you have done, are those numbers changing? Are they going up? Are they going down? We really need to know. And sometimes we just need this inside view. And so that's why we are so blessed to have you as part of our family. So give us some idea where we're going today with these cancer scores for our blood work.
Absolutely. And it is, especially when you're getting into the realm of cancer, there's a lot of different conditions and disorders that there's some, I'll say leeway within the traditional healthcare system. Cancer is not one of those. So when you are talking about a condition like that and trying to work within the traditional healthcare system, it can be very difficult because there is a very exacting standard of care. And a lot of physicians are incredibly, well, they're not wary about stepping outside. They are warned to not step outside. And by the way, we're not warned like once. You actually have to go to these conferences on an annual basis to keep up with your license. At every single conference you go to, every single year, you do get the warning, do not step outside. And they will always emphasize, do not step outside with regards to cancer. And so just understand where your doctor is in this process and how the pressures that they are under. It's not that they're not trying to do the best by you. It really is a fascination that I have as to how cancer is treated and looked at within the realm of traditional healthcare. You know, even with Annette, what you're talking about with regards to foods, it is not a discussion. This is not a discussion that is happening in traditional healthcare that foods can impact. But yet we have incredible empirical evidence that to the contrary. We could get into all of the reasons why and whatnot, but what more so is supposed to all of the negative. Let's get into how can you be empowered to know what to do with your own numbers. And while I am I'm not against the colonoscopies and the mammograms and all of those, can I make one point? Every one of those tests is looking for an already existing tumor. It's looking for an already existing growth. It is not, and while they are considered quote unquote preventative, they're just trying to prevent it from getting lethal.
Struggling with cravings, fatigue, or confusion about your health? You're not alone. But you don't have to stay stuck. Get the free Bible Health ebook and discover 7 powerful steps to real, lasting transformation God's way. Break emotional eating. Learn what truly satisfies. Align your health with God's truth. This is your breakthrough. Get your free Bible Health ebook now on the website, thebiblicalnutritionist.com. It's time to take the first step toward vibrant health, both physically and spiritually.
it is not looking at it still on the cellular level. So there are some different tests that do look on the cellular level. So part of my standard screening that, every single person who goes through my exploratory panel process, there are well, for men, PSA is a very traditional one that it's easy for men to get a PSA test, and that's something that we monitor. And it is important for men to be watching their baseline for their PSA and watching for elevations, because one man's PSA at 2.0 is indicative of a problem, where another that's an improvement. So you do need to know where you're at in that. Another really fascinating test, though, is magnesium. Magnesium. So magnesium is one of those things that the body utilizes for so many things. And magnesium helps you sleep better. It's great for anxiety. It's used for muscle cramps. But magnesium is one of the things that the body utilizes. It pulls magnesium from even your bones and your muscles, pulls it into the blood to go and attach to anything that the body considers toxic, a carcinogen, anything that is in your body that the body doesn't want. It loves to use magnesium, and you'll see elevated magnesium levels. So while that doesn't necessarily indicate cancer, it indicates something's going on. And that's provided you're not overdosing magnesium. There's a lot of that happening nowadays, because magnesium has become quite the superstar in the supplement world. So elevated levels of magnesium in somebody who's doing massive supplementation is quite normal. But especially if you're not, elevated magnesium levels are something to be looking at, and it warrants deeper investigation. Another marker that I really love to look at is something called alkaline phosphatase. Alkaline phosphatase. It indicates multiple things, and it is one of those. A low alkaline phosphatase number just says that you're not pooling your resources, so you're not absorbing great. But high alkaline phosphatase, so alkaline phosphatase is bone material. When the body starts pulling minerals, or pulling resources from the bones, something not good is happening. Something's not good. When you are having to go into your coffers of minerals to the point where you're pulling from your bones, something significant is happening in the body. That's like, there's one thing when your checking account is getting low, and then when your savings account is getting low. But when you have to go and pull from your retirement account, we know we have some major things going on in our finances. That's kind of what alkaline phosphatase is. When you're having to pull from that level of your resources, we have a serious condition that we want to be watching. And so watching for those elevated levels, that's something that I do on a very consistent basis.
Yeah, that is so true and so good. So now the alkaline phosphatase number, give us an idea where someone might want to be on their blood work.
So with regards to alkaline phosphatase, you really want your alkaline, and it is a little bit different for men versus women, but a very good range. I prefer people to be between 65 to about 100. That's a really ideal range. Alkaline phosphatase definitely can get up to 115, 117 before we really start alerting the warning bells. But if your alkaline phosphatase is starting to get into the 150s, 200s, and above, it does warrant a much deeper investigation. And can I just say, with regards to alkaline phosphatase, it's not always an easy test to get requested. And the reason being, in traditional healthcare, if you run a test that you do not know how to read or how to treat, you're liable. And I want to be very clear on that. If your doctor does not know how to read the test or treat the test, they will not order the test. And that's a real issue, because a lot of traditional healthcare, they don't know how to treat these numbers. And as soon as they have it, they now have to deal with it, and they don't have mechanisms. And there aren't necessarily pharmaceutical interventions that match these. So it really puts your doctor into an uncomfortable position if any of these tests come back positive. That's why it's so incredibly difficult to get some of these numbers ordered through so many different physicians.
I just either order through you or I order myself. And because the doctor is always going to say, and so many emails come into our office, I took your list, Annette, to my doctor, and he marked out several and said they're unnecessary. So it's his way of saying I'm not qualified to order those tests. Is people have to be willing to step outside of traditional medicine, which has, just really been around for the last basically 80 years we've been into this traditional medicine realm and step back into taking ownership of their health and either ordering the blood work through you or through other links that we can give people, but mostly through you because they want someone they can talk to. So, all right. And then backing up to magnesium, I don't know that you gave us a score for that. What are we looking for on magnesium?
So in magnesium, for the most part, you don't want to be getting much above 2.3. 2.3 is the number you want to stay below, especially again if you're not over supplementing. Now, magnesium, again, we don't want to be too low either. And magnesium does have a really nice sweet spot. So I prefer people to stay really above 1.8, 1.9. So I like that range between 1.8, 1.9, and 2.3. That's a really, really safe range that you should feel. You should also just feel better.
So these are pretty standard, well, not standard in medical doctors, but these are pretty standard tests. So let's go more into specific cancer screenings. What else can we do? Many times today we're seeing people go into the doctor's office. They've been feeling bad for a couple weeks and they're at stage 4. Well, stage 4 just doesn't happen overnight. It happened at the cellular level, like you're saying. So let's get that inside view at the cellular level. So, what are some other tests we can have ordered that give us another inside view of what might be going on?
There are additional things called cancer antigens. So this is like the things that your body sends, the antibodies, the antigens that your body sends when there is something wrong. So like for instance, if you have a virus, if you have a cold, you have a flu, and your body's like, we need to take care of that foreign body. These are they send, the body sends certain antigens. Well, there are certain markers that measure the ones that are most often sent when there are cancer cells, especially associated with certain regions of the body. There are 4 in particular that I like to look at. There's one called CEA. CEA, while it's a very overall, I would consider it a very miscellaneous number, it does really look at like colorectal. So a lot of the things that they're looking for in a colonoscopy, it shows a lot of the different precursors. Another one is cancer antigen 15-3. Cancer antigen 15-3. Now this one I do see elevated more so than just about any others. Again, it can look at a multitude of things, but it really does trigger with breast cancers. And if anybody has had breast cancer, you are getting this antigen tested on a very regular basis post-cancer. It is not part of the standard care to look at it pre-cancer. Again, back to the reasons why I have my theories, but it is not something that I look on. It's completely part of the standard of care if once you've had cancer. There's another one called cancer antigen 19-9. This one, it looks at pancreatic and GI, and pancreatic especially is significant. It can grow very, very quickly. It has very few warning signs, and it's a difficult one to treat. There's another marker. It's called 125. Well, it looks for a multitude of things as well. Ovarian cancers are at what it looks at, and when you're looking at ideal ranges, the ideal is 0. So you want these numbers, all of them, to get as close to 0 as possible. And I really hate, while there are some markers, and anybody who gets theirs run through me or even through your Quest or your LabCorp, they'll give you some ranges with regards to what they consider normal. I hate to even get into that because your level just needs to be as close to 0 as possible. That's always the goal. It doesn't matter if 5 is acceptable for 15-3. That may not be acceptable for you as an individual with your genetics, with your history, with your exposure to toxins. It is absolutely amazing being able to watch these numbers, how much change can be made to your cancer markers by changing your diet.
Is there anything else you want to share with our biblical nutritionist family today?
For those who are really concerned about cancer and cancer prevention, and that is, or you've had cancer and this is something that is causing a lot of stress for your life and for your family, there is so much peace of mind with having the numbers. When you know that you know that you know that you're making the progress, and then you can learn from them. You can learn which foods, which different chemicals in your household, which of the things actually move the needle. It gives you incredible peace of mind. Well, there's never any absolute assurances. When you are keeping all of these things, when you're doing everything to the best of your ability, it really is incredible how just calm and how much peace and just the clarity that having the numbers can give you.
I so agree. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. J, for being a part of this. And we will definitely put a link to your blood work down below because people need one to get blood work done minimum twice a year. But getting blood work done and then a follow up panel in 90 days, we need that assurance is okay, those changes actually worked. And I can see my numbers have gotten into a more healthy balance. But sometimes if you only see your doctor once a year, you don't have that confirmation that the changes you're making are actually good. And like you said, cancers, these scores, these CA levels, they can be greatly affected by what you eat and what you're thinking and what you're believing affects these numbers. And so we want to get a repeat within 90 days if possible. And not that you have to repeat every 90 days, but do it so you know, okay, this eating pattern works. This exercise regimen is working. My numbers have been greatly improved. Now I know I can continue that. Or if we learn, wait a minute, the eating pattern that you have chosen, it's still showing that it's not working as healthily that we want as we want for you. So let's tweak it a little more. And so minimum twice a year getting your blood panels. But at first, when you first start working with someone as specific as you are, get it done and then do a 90-day follow-up. And so your blood panels are saving lives. And we so appreciate what you do for the Biblical Nutritionist family. And I just want to thank you so much for being a part of this video today.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Wasn't that insightful? Every time I talk with Dr. J, I'm reminded how God designed our bodies with signals, gentle warnings, so we can respond before a health crisis even happens. And now that you understand what your blood might be revealing, let's talk about the next step. What to eat to turn those numbers around. God's word actually highlights foods that nourish and repair and protect our cells. And modern research confirms their anti-cancer power. Let's walk through the top foods on the Bible diet that support your body's natural defense system. The first and my favorite is going to be cruciferous vegetables like kale and cauliflower and cabbage. All of these foods, they have natural compounds that naturally detoxify your liver and reduce inflammation. Just one serving a day can start shifting your body chemistry in the right direction. Another is garlic and onions. They contain sulfur compounds that have been shown to slow the growth of abnormal cells. When you crush or chop them and then kind of let them sit for a few minutes on the counter before cooking, those healing compounds become even stronger. After that, we have berries and even pomegranates and dark grapes as well. The rich color comes from the anthocyanins, which are antioxidants that help protect your DNA from damage. Try to eat a variety of colors because every color brings a unique set of phytonutrients. And then from there, we can go into whole grains like barley and wheat. The same grains God called good in scripture are rich in fiber micronutrients for the microbiome. This healthy gut really helps our immune system create a defense and destroy abnormal cells before they're even a problem. And don't forget olive oil. It contains powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that protect your heart and your brain and even the cell membranes. Now, this is one reason why the Mediterranean diet, which kind of mirrors the Bible foods, is known for lowering cancer risk. But then move into herbs and spices like ginger and turmeric and just other spices and herbs that you may have in your garden. This helps with free radicals, calm inflammation, and makes your meals taste amazing. Another example of God's goodness built into His creation. When you fill your plate with these Bible foods, you're partnering with the design God created. Half your plate should be colorful vegetables, and a quarter could be whole grains and legumes, and the rest healthy fats like olive oil, seeds, and nuts. This simple pattern supports your immune system daily. Now let's recap. Dr. J showed us how blood panels can reveal early signs, warning signs, before symptoms even appear. And we've seen how God's foods, the same ones mentioned throughout Scripture, bring healing and strengthen the body that He designed. If you found this helpful, please share this video with 3 of your friends and make a list of these anti-cancer foods. Get them into your diet every day. And if you want to go even deeper, please check out thebiblicalnutritionist.com or the Biblical Nutrition Academy, where you can start learning. I put a link down below for Dr. J. Hitson's blood work. And remember, your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. So when we feed it God's way, we honor Him and experience His gift in every single cell of our body. Thank you again for letting me share with you God's recipe for excellent health. And please enjoy the foods that God's given you. Enjoy the healing that He has promised us in His Word. Read Exodus 15:26. When you listen carefully to the voice of the Lord your God, we can do that too. At the end, He says, "For I am the Lord who heals." That's His promise. It was to the Israelites. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. He created our body to heal, or actually most of us would be dead right now with what all we've consumed. He's amazing, and I want you to know Him because He has a personal love letter written to you. You were created just as you are on purpose. Whatever sex you are, male or female, He created you specifically that way. And He has a purpose for that. Thank you. And if you ever want us to come to your church or your ministry to share with you our Reclaim retreats, please contact info@thebiblicalnutritionist.com. Thanks for watching.
Struggling with cravings, fatigue, or confusion about your health? You're not alone. But you don't have to stay stuck. Get the free Bible Health ebook and discover 7 powerful steps to real, lasting transformation God's way. Break emotional eating. Learn what truly satisfies. Align your health with God's truth. This is your breakthrough. Get your free Bible Health ebook now on the website, thebiblicalnutritionist.com. It's time to take the first step toward vibrant health, both physically and spiritually.